Hello Gemini, welcome to your September forecast for the year of 2017. I am Kyana Mayfield from LibraLunaCenter.com, and this month is a preliminary stage, basically the link in the chain between the August eclipse season that we've just come out of, post-eclipse, this is post-eclipse season, and standing in between that and October, which is the beginning of the whole new chapter that we have been initiated into since the eclipses, as Jupiter moves into Scorpio on October 10th, which is the starting line of all of this, right? And so September, this is also the last month Jupiter will be in Libra, because Jupiter will be moving into Scorpio, right? And Saturn has also is also going over some old territory as is staying on a certain chapter for now, looking at the chapter we've been in, as it is basically stationed, stuck, right? All month at 21 degrees Sagittarius. Pluto is also still in the sky, as it is preparing to come direct by the end of this month as well. And of course, this is Virgo season, so this is in relevance to your personal foundation, your emotions, your family, your home life, and looking at this with a whole new perspective, as the nodal axis is no longer in this space, kind of filtering things in a different way, right? In a more pressure type of way. So Gemini, you have been on this sort of roller coaster, right? And this roller coaster is now finally coming to an end. What this roller coaster has been for you has been you coming to terms with different facets, different parts of yourself, discovering new facets of yourself. Like, you know, you are the twins of the zodiac, right? You are the somewhat the schizophrenic child of the zodiac, right? No hard feelings, but this is what you are. And Gemini, you have been on this roller coaster of self-discovery through the exploration of yourself in multiple different avenues, multiple different roads, multiple different journeys, multiple different adventures. And what all of this has been for you, what all of this chaos has been for you for some time now, has been helping you get a level on yourself, right? Get a level on what you are, who you want to be, right? And sort of the image, the brand that you demonstrate to the outer world. And this is all culminating. This is all culminating, finally coming as the dust settles. This is happening for you on September 6th, as we have the full moon in Pisces conjuncting Neptune retrograde in your 10th house at the top of your chart. So this is in regards to your brand. This is in regards to your career, obviously, and as in regards to your purpose in this world, right? And how people see you, your reputation, and as well, what role you play in not only society but your world, right? The world you inhabit. And all of this is kind of coming to a close now, as you have been somewhat dilly-dallying, or not dilly-dallying, but oscillating between worlds, right? Oscillating between worlds, exploring every single facet of yourself in basically every single world, right? It's almost as if you've been it's like flipping the pancake, right? You're one color 1 minute, and then you flip to the other side and you're a whole new color, if that makes any sense at all. But you know, there has been this sort of cooking roller coaster type of energy that you've been in, because you have been identifying layers of yourself that you have not even been aware of, right? And as the chaos settles down, right? As the chaos settles down, this is you. This is the culmination of all of that. This is the culmination of all this confusion, of all of this deconstruction in your identity and in your world, right? In the role you play, right? Like who you've identified yourself to be and who others have identified you to be have not been aligning with who you actually are for a long time. And you've been needing to play the field in how you demonstrate yourself to other people, because Saturn, of course, is in your opposite sign, And the nodal axis had been in your 10th, or the south node of the nodal axis had been, since the end of 2015, had been in your 10th house. And this has been a deconstructing period of you know, the role you play. And the last type of, you know, the last bit of remnant of that had started during the solar eclipse in Pisces, which occurred on February 26th earlier this year. And so this whole summer through 2017 has been sort of looking at your world from a bigger view, right? And you have been allowed freedom to explore different facets, to explore other areas, to basically play the field and come to a conclusion now of who you want to be, and integrating all of the different personalities into one personality. And as the chaos settles down, as you get off the roller coaster, this Virgo season now is cleaning up the mess, and it's coming through the bottom half of your chart, your 4th house, and it is helping you return home to yourself, return home to the core of your essence, right? Return home not only to your biological family or your metaphorical family, but it's the integration as you've been out exploring out into the world, right? Collecting all of this data in regards to who you are and who you want to be, right? As you've basically been on this journey out into the Netherlands. No, nothing. You know, you've been on this journey. Let's just say you've been backpacking across the world, right? On your own, collecting different bits of data and culture from the places, the localities that you visit, right? And they've all been teaching you something. And now this Virgo season, September, is you coming back. It's the integration of your personality back into the foundation for what you want to be, for who you want to be, right? So this is the answering. This full moon is having you answer the question of what have you learned? What have you discovered about yourself over these past 6 months, right? Since not September, but February, earlier this year. What have you discovered about yourself since the beginning of this year? What has changed in who you are, and what has changed in your goals, right? In your goals for what you believe the future holds for you. And everything is changing now because you're changing your identity, you're changing your brand, you're changing how you see yourself, and you're changing how you see your world and the role you play in your world forever. This can be tangibly or psychologically. In regards to, like, you may be changing careers, or you may be changing, the foundation of your career. You may be rebranding yourself, or you may be changing your status. Like, maybe you've been single for years, or perhaps even maybe your whole lifetime you've been single, and now you're getting married, or whatever. Something is dramatically shifting in you that is tangibly seen, tangibly felt, or psychologically seen and felt through the senses, that affects your world in an entirely new way, right? Something's happening to you, Gemini, and ultimately this is having you realize what you actually are versus the identity you've been inhabiting in for a long time, that others have, misperceived you as, even, right? And this all culminates to the new moon in Virgo, which is happening on September 19th, which will be in square over to Saturn in Sagittarius in your 7th house, and as well as in almost direct opposition to Chiron retrograde in your 10th house. And so this new moon will be in your 4th house, of course. And this is the choosing, this is the decision, this is the final proclamation of what you decide you will be, Gemini. Who you decide you will be, what twin you decide you will play the part of, play the role of inhabit, right? Capacitate. And with it in square to Saturn, of course, and with it opposing Chiron, especially, this is the facing of the wound. This is the facing of your pain. And this is having you realize that you can transcend. You can transcend whatever bubble you felt like has been repressing your authentic identity, your authentic expression, right? You can pierce that bubble. You can allow it to pop. You can allow it to burst. And this is a whole new level of confidence showing up within you as you integrate yourself, as you have discovered all of the different facets of yourself. Now you know yourself on a level and with a clarity and a depth and a meaning and a purpose such as you have never seen before, right? Gemini is now at its most confident, at its most in depth, at its most transparent. This entire month of September is all about you coming into your transparency, Gemini, as you have nothing to hide anymore because you've seen all the different sides of yourself, right? You have been steadily digging under everything that you actually are and looking at yourself with a whole new set of eyes, right? And you heal yourself through the sharing of whatever this new confidence level is, whatever this new opening up of yourself as you become more emotional, more in touch with your own feelings, as you separate, not separate, but distinguish yourself from others through the personal proclamation of what your desires are, what your personal likes and dislikes are, what your dreams are. As you come to this integration of yourself, as you're not allowing yourself to be scattered in multiple different directions by everyone and their personal, somewhat perhaps even dogmatic beliefs of what they think you should be, what roles they think you ought to be capacitating, right? As you break out of that dogma, as you break out of that system and find your own voice, find your own desire, find your own flame, come to your own conclusion and allow that to be the foundation for your confidence. Sharing this new part, this new depth and clarity of yourself is what heals you and is what changes your world. So by the end of September, we're moving into some pretty powerful conversations, as we have on the 22nd, we have the Sun entering Libra, which is in your 5th house for you. And this is starting the conversation. This is having you look at, right? This is bringing into focus where Jupiter has been hanging out for all of this year, right? And it's looking at it for the first time as Jupiter's been there. So Jupiter in your 5th house has been having you look at your heart, right? Doing some massive heart work and balancing the different sides of your heart, right? Integrating them into one, right? Look, like you have multiple different passions in multiple different areas of your life. You're committed to one world and you're committed to another, but how do you bring these two worlds together? How do you make the two sides of yourself come together in a way that is harmonious and speaks to your personal, needs and desires and your heart, right? Like what opens you up in that way. And the Sun, of course, will be stimulating this conversation even more by the end of this month. And we're having a big conversation by the 28th of September, as we are having Pluto coming direct in your 8th house, as well as Jupiter in your 5th in Libra, making its direct opposition to Uranus retrograde in your 11th. And again, this is speaking to the clashing of worlds, right? The clashing of your needs, your desires, your contribution, your heart with the needs and the contribution and the social, somewhat the social threads that bind you to your world, right? And you're realizing it's not through just one way or the other that you make your impact. The way to make the biggest impact is to integrate the shadow and the light together, and sharing what this has been for you in a dramatic, very big, very bold, very audacious way, right? As Uranus in the 11th for you, Uranus being the ruler of Aquarius, and Aquarius ruling the 11th house, Uranus in the 11th is it's a very beneficial energy, in the fact, by the sheer fact that Uranus is used to this house, right? It's used to the 11th because it rules the 11th house. So, you're looking at your friendships, you're looking at your contribution, of course, you're looking at the societies that you contribute to, right? What you're a part of, what your memberships, right? Your friends, your hopes, your wishes, and all of these opportunities are coming at you, right? Like a tidal wave. And you're having to put up the not the barriers per se, but the blinders to whatever does not serve you, whatever does not bring you forward, bring you closer to home, bring you closer to yourself, speak to your heart, right? You can't just pick everything like you have been doing. You've been having the opportunity to pick everything and everyone, right, throughout most of this year. And this is what's been causing most of the confusion, right? But now it's the time for you to be listening to yourself, right? Listening to the small, still voice within you that says, this is what my purpose is, this is what I'm here to do, this is what I was born to do, and everything else just kind of distracts me away from that. And so you have to look at everything that's coming in and pick and choose what speaks to your heart and what doesn't, what pushes your message forward and what doesn't, what increases, what explodes your impact across multiple facets of your life and what doesn't. What allows the bridge to be melded between your shadow and your light together in balance and harmony and in love, right? In peace. What brings you peace and satisfaction and fulfillment, and what doesn't, right? And whatever this decision will be, it's requiring the ultimate amount of transparency, the ultimate amount of emotional depth, of emotional clarity, and coming to a point of realization within yourself that allows you to not only come to greater awareness of your own personal spiritual integrity, right, but as well as making room for greater meaning and greater depth in your personal relationships, as Pluto comes direct in your 8th house, helping, and this is Pluto's natural house, mind you. And whatever discoveries and decisions you make by the end of this month in regards to what you want and who you will be, right, is making room for the most powerful and in-depth and meaningful relationships of your life. So thank you very much for watching, Gemini. I hope you have a wonderful September. And if you would like a personal reading with me, I do have links in the description below for you to be able to do so. And feel free to check out your sun, your moon, and your rising/ascendant sign, as well as any videos that you feel are relevant to your personal natal chart, or whatever whatever you're pulled to by intuition, as this is your personal compass, your personal GPS. So listen to that first and foremost. But if you have, like, let's say 3 or more planets in a certain sign, you may want to check that out as well, as it may contain some information in regards to this. So thank you again very much for watching. I'll see you next month.